Hello, everyone. It is the Calgary Real Estate Show. We're back again this week. It
We're
is
here.
almost the middle of the month. It is Masters Week. I'm sorry you can see my TV. My TV is beyond on behind me there. Uh, I don't do that all the time, Natalie. You can attest to that, but it is Masters Week. So
Yes, it's like the holy grail for you,
yes, it's kind of
as
a
you
big
told me
deal.
this morning.
Yeah, as we were watching it, as we're getting ready. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
fun week. So, and the snow is melting at least until Monday or Tuesday, and then we're gonna get another dump.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
yeah, Jaden, where are you today? Are you at the office?
At the office today, came into Calgary. It's a nice drive in. Love it. Seeing things start to green up and the grass is coming. Then like you say,
yeah,
we live in Alberta, so we do this to ourselves. We get excited every April, and then the snow comes dumping
Yeah,
again.
yep, it
exactly,
does.
exactly. Well, the real estate market is pretty excited about April, and we can see by the stats here for the week that we had 538 new listings. So that's the highest it's been in probably all year, without comparing all the numbers
Yeah,
on a weekly basis. 654 sales, so that's not quite the high in the past 5 weeks, but right up there. 122% sale to new listing ratio. So what that means is for every one listing that hit, there was 1.22 of them that would sell. So that kind of gives you an idea. And so here's a bit of an anecdote for you as you peruse the stats here. We listed a semi-detached property in Auburn Bay, amazing community, lake community. Listed it at really a market value. There was a sale at 561. So we listed at 550. There was also a sale at 602, but you always try and go right at market value when you're listing a property. At least that's our recommendation to our sellers. And we sold it for 611. So
mhm,
Now,
yeah, with 25 showings in 2 days and 8 offers. So that was
yeah,
amazing for our sellers, right? They took advantage of the market. They're from BC and wanted to cash out and buy a property out there. So,
yep,
um, yeah, it was really, really good. And yeah, so pendings of 544, that's a big number, guys. So we'll wait to see what happens with that pending number for last week, because pendings this week can turn into sales for next week. Days on market still at 20. Now our actives and pendings, though, has crept up. 150 odd listings. We're now 2707. But really, when we look back to last year, Natalie, clue us in here, because active listings are still well below what they were even last year.
absolutely, absolutely. So last year, this time, we had 618 listings. This year, 519. Last year, new listings or total sales, that was total sales, pardon me. New listings, 840 last year, 684 this year. So that's up 23%. Actives, I am reading these numbers all inverted. Last year, actives were 3324. This year, 2679. So it's down 19%. Last year, pendings were 941. This year, 760. So it's down 19%. And days on market was 23. This year, 20. So it's down 13%.
Yeah, and we don't, it's just fun to look back. We don't draw a whole lot of, a whole lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? This is just
conclusions.
a little, yeah, exactly. This is just a snapshot in time, but it's fun to look back a year. So, Jaden, I
Exactly.
noticed as you were doing your slides today that there maybe is a little slight change in a 5 year fixed tie ratio.
Yeah, I went. I think it went from 488 to 489. Just that one lender had that 488, and it
See,
went away.
I've
So
got an eagle eye.
yeah, you've obviously been watching closely, or you were on at the same time updating Canva as I was.
That
So
might have been, yeah,
Yes, that might have
it might have been. But honestly, this week the rates aren't the story. There was two
yeah.
big announcements. Yesterday's announcement, of course, staying flat. Macklin really opened the doors to potentially coming down in June. I suspect that we'll see a quarter point down in June. I thought we might see a quarter point down now, but they continue to hold on as long as possible. They talk about the higher for longer, right? So I think, in my opinion, maybe we've gone a little bit too long, but it just is what it is. It'll play out how it plays out. But then there was another big announcement today. Our fabulous government is releasing the budget piecemeal this year, piece by piece. as they try to get a little bit of media over the last couple of weeks. And the big thing that came out today was was an incredibly niche product that will somehow have a big impact on the housing market in some way for affordability. So as of today, they've announced, and it's going to, I believe it starts in August. If you are a first-time home buyer and you are buying a new build home and you have an insured mortgage, which means less than 20% down, you will be able to have a 30-year amortization. So
Interesting.
really, I don't think this
Versus
is moving
25.
Yeah.
versus 25. Yeah. So the normal is 25. Right now, you can only have a 30-year amortization if you put 20% or more down, and that's called an uninsurable mortgage. But so this way, you'll still be able to have an insured mortgage, less than 20% down, with and have a 30-year amortization. The problem is that it's so niche because it's just first-time home buyers. It's just new build homes. I really don't think it'll have a huge impact. The thing that might have a bigger of an impact is the home buyers plan being bumped up by $25,000. So now, rather than accessing $35,000 from your RSPs, you can access 60. And rather than having to start paying it back in the first 2 years and have it paid back by 15, they'll give you 5 years before you have to start paying it back. But you still have to pay it back within that 15 years. So, I think that's great. Like any more access to being able to unlock some of that RSP for people, I think that's powerful. The other thing I think is a nothing. I think it's an announcement that will have zero impact on anybody. Really, what's going to happen is that now mortgage brokers and bank mortgage reps are going to have to do 2 pre-approvals for first-time home buyers. It'll be a new build pre-approval and a resale pre-approval. So really, in terms of impact, I think you're going to see very little. It's not going to impact pricing. It's not going to impact a lot of affordability for most people. It's just going to be kind of a nothing.
Yeah.
Well, and my question would be, and we've helped a lot of people buy new builds. If you want a new build, like fill your boots. That's fantastic. A lot of people want that new home smell, and that is it for them. That is the only thing they'd consider. But Natalie, how many first-time buyers, and Jaden, you've seen a lot of our deals. How many first-time buyers on the resale market can't access this? Like, I'm not understanding it. Like, why only new homes?
Yeah, I think that they're trying to incentivize builders to build more,
Right.
and which is fine because one of the problems people don't realize that builders also are dealing with high interest rates now, so it's
Oh,
hard
sure.
for them to build more because they're carrying everything, right? So,
Yeah.
so they're trying to incentivize more builds this way. The problem is when you are focusing on such a small subsection of the market, like if you really wanted to incentivize builds and you gave 30 or 35-year AMs to anybody who bought a new build. Absolutely, that I could see that having an impact. But with this, just with the first-time home buyers, I really see absolutely zero impact.
Yeah. Fair enough. But lots to unpack there. So as always, reach out to Jaden if you have questions. If you're a first-time home buyer, you're looking for a new build, and it won't be till after August. Certainly reach out to Jaden. He's a great resource for you. And I want to mention a couple of the things that Jaden does. So he helps you rebuild credit. He's got a great contact that if you're looking to rebuild credit, so you can purchase a home in in 6 months or a year, however long that takes. So Jaden is a wealth of knowledge and connections, and so make sure you reach out to him.
Thanks, buddy.
Awesome. Yeah, no worries. Here's some great deck that you should never actually walk on. Natalie,
Don't go on that.
You continue to amaze us with these first pictures.
I know. Okay, so we're talking about porch and deck railing ideas. Since it is spring, supposedly, I don't know if it is or not, but we're hoping for. So something like this decorative ironwork, I love the intricacy of that oval shape in between. It really just adds a lot of flair to it. Moving on. Fretwork style. So fretwork can be very intricate as well. It really depends on how much you want to do. So this one is a fairly simple one, but you can actually do ones that have like another interior level like this one. So anyway, beautiful. Cable railing. Love cable railing. Had it on my deck at my old cottage and it was fantastic. Gives you unfettered views of the water, but it still provides that safety because it's so close together. So mid-century porch railing. We're seeing a lot of these. A lot of people are doing the horizontal, fencing and all that kind of stuff. So it really just adds a little bit of extra pizzazz to your deck. And a minimal horizontal railing, which is quite lovely. This one is actually made out of teak, because obviously this isn't a coastal place, but it looks it just really stands out, and it gives you, again, that unobstructed view without, it's similar to the cable, but with the actual woodwork in it. And that's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalie.
You're
So the
welcome.
community events have not really changed. I will point out the Wranglers playing tonight and tomorrow against Abbotsford. And then I think this wraps up their season. There might be another home game coming up, but then they go to the playoffs, which is so exciting. Of course, the Flames will have their wrap up. I think the Flames' last home game is the 18th. That's their big fan appreciation, because we ain't got anything else after that. That's it till October.
Yeah.
But there you go. So there's some community events for you. I want to wrap up with a quick thing about this whole blanket rezoning in Calgary. So if you've been watching the news, and I believe they're doing a public hearing next week, and the deadline to actually speak at it, I believe, has passed. But
I thought it was yesterday.
It was yesterday, yeah. So you want to keep your eyes peeled for this. I'm not sure if they have a live stream or something along those lines. This is going to affect all of us. If you are a homeowner in Calgary, this is going to affect you. My personal opinion is it's way too much. It's when you say a blanket rezoning, you're trying to kill a mosquito with a sledgehammer. Like, this is a way too broad approach on this whole idea of affordable housing. So let's play out a scenario here. So Natalie owns an old home in let's call it give me an old area. Lake Bonavista. They're part of this blanket rezoning because they're an older neighborhood. And so they own an old home, but that home just on its own is worth, even in its current state, and it's original with the shag and everything from the 70s, it's probably worth almost $1 million, right? A good sized lot in Lake Bonavista. So now that developer comes in and he's going to build a fourplex on that lot, because that's what they're saying can happen. So how is that going to be affordable? I'm not a builder. I'm not a developer. I'm just a simple realtor who has to use my calculator on my iPhone to do math. But how is that going to be more affordable than designating certain government lands around LRT stations, demanding that builders also do some of this legwork as well, in terms of building more affordable products in some of these new developed areas when they're getting development permits from the city? Maybe as part of that, some of that has to be designated as affordable housing. So anyway, keep an eye on it. If you have questions, please reach out. We're here to help. And we don't, we're like you. We're just watching a lot of this on the news. We got our notice. We live in Woodbine. We did get a notice here about the blanket rezoning. So that's my thoughts on that. Jaden, Natalie, any other thoughts on blanket rezoning?
I just think it's going to be fun to be parking over the next 10 years in Calgary. Street parking is going to become a premium, right?
A nightmare. A nightmare.
Well, I think everything's going to be permitted, right? Unless you live at that street address, you won't be able to park there. I don't know where people are going to park, but
it's crazy, the whole situation. And you hear people panicking. I've been seeing change.org things for Save Lake Bonavista. It's like, well, it's not just Lake Bonavista. It's Eagle Ridge, it's Bel Air, it's all of these high-end neighborhoods that have huge lots. And I will guarantee you, those people that are living in those neighborhoods in their single family home, and you suddenly have a row townhouse right beside you, it's not going to go over well.
Oh, I think the lawsuits will be endless with this one. And it's not even those higher end areas. I mean, I think about our street here in Woodbine. We're in a single family detached area, and Woodbine in particular is largely single family detached. There's a small section of row townhouses. We're a single family detached community. So now on our street, which is already very, very busy. So let's say somebody buys our neighbor's home next door and they knock it down and they are going to build like a duplex, right? Or two infills, like semi-detached infills. Then all of a sudden you have 4 to 6 people parking in the same place where there's already no parking. Yeah. It is a hot mess. It's a hot pile of steaming garbage as far as I'm concerned. But There's my thoughts. I'm just a realtor.
Get off the fence, Mark.
Yeah, well, it is. It is. I mean, it's not good.
No,
It's
it's
not
not.
good.
It's
And
not
why they
good.
did it, that's a whole other conversation. That's political, which I won't get into on this channel, but book a coffee with me and I'll give you my thoughts on that too. All right. On that happy note, I'm excited about the Masters. Jaden, you have a great weekend, and Natalie, you as well, but I'll see you. So
You'll
I can
see.
speak to you later.
I'm still here.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you in a week.